welcome to our special coverage of Davos 2025. We're coming to you from the Cognizant Chalet here on the promenade, and joining us now is the CEO, Ravi Kumar. Ravi, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us here in Davos again. Let me start by asking you about what the outlook is for 2025, given the fact that we now have a new president in the White House who's promised tariffs and other actions that we're still fully going to understand the impact of. What does the outlook for 2025 look like?
Shireen, we are in a blackout period, so I'll tell you a little bit about where we are, but not covering the numbers of Cognizant or anything related to it. Certainly, when we met last time in November, the uncertainty was much higher. Right now, the election is off.
Yes.
In some ways, there is more certainty about things around us. So I'm hoping there's going to be less regulation that will help financial services. I'm hoping there's going to be a significant relook at taxes. So all of it which the Trump administration has spoken about. So it's in general good for businesses. So let's see how it goes. I mean, the economy is on a high in the U.S. with just 2%, less than 2% unemployment. Yeah. Less than 3% inflation. Yeah.
And consumer confidence.
Consumer confidence is pretty good. So I'm very, very hopeful that things are going to look up.
In terms of spends at this point in time, and again, without talking specifics, what's the outlook in terms of spending now that, some of the big ticket events are out of the way? We had spoken about how there was a pause, but is there now a pickup?
I mentioned this before. We are in this unique phase of navigation where there's a period of change and a period of uncertainty. And the uncertainty is a little bit now, in some ways, calming down. But the period of change around us is significant. Yeah. I mean, the AI wave is just, the opportunity is just out of the world for enterprises. And the kind of work which needs to be done to take the raw power of AI and make it enterprise grade there's so much heavy lift needed that I'm excited about the future of tech services. I'm excited about India. I mean, India has a very significant role to play. So I'm excited about the fact that Cognizant has this unique confluence of having a big presence in India and leverage upon it. And equally, the future of tech services. There are CEOs who will tell you that AI will actually make tech services a loser, and there's some who will tell you that it will be a winner. I'm a big believer that it is going to be a winner. And that's why I'm excited about the future of IT services.
Well, let's talk about the future of IT services, because how do you see the model changing in an AI world? You walk down this promenade and everyone has an AI slogan, including you. And I just met with your AI head. And, ChatGPT provided that breakout moment in terms of mainstreaming AI. But from an IT services perspective, how does it change your operating model?
Yeah. So, Shireen, I see this with three vectors. The first vector is the work we do. I mean, writing software and software development cycles. That's going to be run by machines. And because it's going to be run by machines, people think, what are people going to do if software is going to be written by machines? Uniquely, writing code is one of the biggest use cases for AI. So 30% of my code is written by machines. So what are people going to do? So on that vector, I believe the elasticity for spend for technology is so high that every time something like this has happened, we have actually seen more technology spent, the backlog getting cleared, and more importantly, we have tech debt on balance sheets which will actually come out. That's the first vector. The second vector is the innovation vector, where all the agentification which is going to happen will need heavy lift. Your data has to be in place, your cloud has to be modernized, you have to run the last mile to improve the output, because the output is coming from transformer technologies. You have to make it responsible, so you have to make, because the output is black box, you have to make it explainable, you have to make it traceable, you have to govern it. All of that is a heavy lift. and then finally you have to agentify it.
Yeah.
All that is a heavy lift. So I think there's a unique opportunity. It's net new spend which enterprises are going to do. That's my second vector. The third vector is a multiplier, and that's the biggest. You know, there are service pools around us which wasn't our addressable spend, and that will be our addressable spend now in the future. Let me give you an example. Say if you are implementing Salesforce implementation will probably be written by machines. You know, the software is going to be written by, the software development cycles are going to be owned by machines. But imagine what happened before. For $1 of software, $2 of services was implemented. Right now, we have this unique opportunity where the service pools around Salesforce, suppose you take Salesforce as a function, look at the service pools. People are inputting sales leads, people are writing forecasts, people are taking out analytics, people are keep punching in leads. All of that was not available for companies like us.
Yeah.
It was insourced, it was actually done by people. Right now, the art of taking all that service pools and translating that to software. So I call it service as a software versus software as a service. And that service as a software is going to be a force multiplier. If the world we were in was X, that will be 5 to 6 times. In every function in the company, there was unstructured data, which can now be read by LLMs, and you could create insights and generate a lot of momentum. Let's take recruiting as a function. Recruiting as a function, if I had to do it in my old way, I would probably implement Workday or implement Oracle or implement SAP. That was my universe. Right now, my universe is very different. My universe is I can take over that function and analytically use AI to look at services which weren't our addressable pool, to look at services which humans didn't do because they couldn't capture the unstructured data. So the opportunity now on the third vector of taking services and translating them to software, I think is probably the biggest opportunity. So our addressable spend is not tech spend anymore. Okay. Our addressable spend is operation spend of enterprises, which is a much bigger
which is new
pie,
you're saying.
much bigger pie. And that's why I'm kind of excited about what the possibilities are.
You know, you talked about how 30% of the software that's being coded is being done by machines at this point in time at Cognizant. The last time we spoke, you also talked about how you're doing about 750 AI-related projects. What's the update on that front?
I mean, you know, last quarter we spoke about 1,000 in my earnings. We are hoping some of those go into downstream. And as they go into downstream, we go to the second vector, which is agentify the work around it. And once you agentify it, you take the service pools around it and capture it. So I'm excited about it. So it is a force multiplier. Every quarter you're going to see the numbers go up.
Let's talk about why you're excited about India. And by the way, congratulations on winning the Pravasi Bharati Award as well. You were in India for a day for the same. But why are you excited about India from an AI perspective?
I mean, India is, you know, it's positioned in such a unique way. And I'm going to push this into 4 broad things. First, look at the demographics. 25% of the incremental workforce in the next decade is going to come from India. India is going to be the office of the world. You and I discussed about it. And in fact, with this agentification, you see these new service pools, specialized work outside of technology. And already the GCCs are doing it. I mean, 1/3 of the work, 1/3 of the exports in India today is from GCCs. The GCCs are already in that process. So you're going to see a lot of new specialized work coming in. So that's a big game changer. I would believe the 5 million IT professionals which work in India is probably going to be 10 million by 2030. Let's take the second big thing which I'm excited about in India. India's digital stack, the India stack, is transaction-based, population-grade, and the amount of data which is there, I mean, that's the foundation on how you build AI models. So that unique opportunity to digitize and diffuse so efficiently, even to rural India, to a farmer in rural India, I think is going to be fascinating. That's the second piece which I am excited about. The third piece, I would say, is the energy transition which is going to go through in India, is going through at a time when the combination of per capita increase of consumption and new sources are going to come together, that's going to be a ton of money which is going to be spent, and specifically capex. India is also going to be the consumer of the world because right now the per capita GDP is roughly around 2,500. At 2,500, you're going to see a hockey stick of consumerism, and I'm hoping that that's going to create a trigger of consumer spend in India. I mean, the number of households which actually earn roughly $35,000 will go from 5 million to 25 million is what the forecast is. That's going to create consumerism, and that's going to create more data and more opportunities for the power to power AI. So, if you put all this together, and I also believe that we're going to go from a globalized world to a bipolar world, or a world which is more heterogeneous, if I may. And if that happens, I think a portion of the manufacturing ecosystem is also going to be transitioning to India. So putting all this together, I mean, you think you really think it's a very comprehensive story for the economy. I mean, the IMF has literally yesterday said 6.5% is the growth for growth for India. So we are excited. I mean, 250,000 people, 250,000 employees of Cognizant work out of India. We are moving into tier 2 cities. We opened in Indore. We opened in Bhubaneswar. We opened in Gift City. We just announced. We are continuing to go to places where people are versus bringing them to places where work is. So it is 2/3 of my workforce. That's where the heart of the company is.
Well, since you are in your silent period, we cannot talk specific numbers, but I want to understand from you, in terms of the turnaround that you embarked on when you took over at Cognizant, are you halfway done? Are you closer to getting it done? Where do you find yourself?
I mean, I'm on track. As I've always been saying, we want to be in the winner's circle at some point of time, and I'm continuing to be on that journey. I'm excited about finishing 2 years at Cognizant, and looking forward to taking this company back into the winner's circle.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck with that, Ravi. Always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us here in Davos on CNBC TV 18. Well, that was the Cognizant view on what could potentially change for the IT services model in an AI era, and of course why Ravi is excited on both AI and its power as well as India. We will take a break here, but the conversations will continue. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment with more on CNBC TV 18.